recap.
Well, we were moving north to get to the bridge that goes across the abyss, and we came upon Durbin the dwarf and his raven familiar.
So, old dwarf, what shall we call you?
Oh, forgive me, I forgot to introduce myself. I am Durbin Longfellow.
He decided to come with us for reasons, because he's just wandering anyway. Then I don't remember if it was later that day or how long after we met Durbin, but we found blood on the trail. We traced it back to a dead human poster hanger. I don't know what the official term is for a guy who hangs wanted posters. He appeared to have been bludgeoned to death. So we tracked down the culprits, and it turned out to be an Azer, a human, and what we took to be some sort of clay golem. Although we had not run into the earlier clay golem that popped up in this campaign. Well, the Azer said that the death of the poster hanger was an accident, and we don't have any reason to think that's not true. I mean, they didn't immediately attack us, so they didn't seem automatically hostile.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine scenarios where they murdered him because they didn't want him hanging up these posters, letting other people know to be on the lookout for Torchmaster, but I don't have any evidence of that. So I assume they were just telling the truth. The clay golem just went a little nuts, Frankenstein-like. And, sometimes Frankenstein kills little girls. Doesn't mean he's evil. It might mean he's evil. All three of them together seemed to be working for Levistus and wanted Torchmaster, who was the figure on the wanted poster this guy was hanging. We told him where to find the body of Torchmaster, since we had previously disenchanted him and left him in a heap, along with all the gold plating apparently running throughout his body. We continued on and reached the guard station where we decided we were going to stay overnight, but a bunch of devils arrived, all of whom were infected with the orgy mage's pickle finger disease. So when they died, they erupted with pickle fingers, which then tried to swarm a bunch of people. We managed to kill off the pickle fingers and using the guards actually did a lot of the work defeating the pickle fingers, but so did the raven who had dragon breath cast upon him. As we beat them, we pushed one of the devils in the Autoluke's resilient sphere off the side of the cliff into the abyss when the spell dropped, so he may still be falling.
But if we toss him close enough to the edge, or we wait until the spell's almost over, throw him over the edge, the ball might bounce once, and then he'll be like tumbling and bouncing down the cliff face, getting pulverized on the way down.
Yep.
I feel like that's a solid plan.
I'm just imagining that one scene where Homer hits every rock on the way down the canyon.
I'll just push it right off the edge, and the moment I see it is actually falling, I will stop concentrating on it. So you hear a pop, and it just disappears like a soap bubble.
I'm picturing like a little bloop.
Silence between any rocks and him right before he falls.
It looks like he bounces once, but you don't hear anything. And then a faint scream.
Durbin will high five.
As we were doing that, a bunch of red trolls turned up, apparently summoned by the guy we pushed into the abyss, but I don't think we would be aware of that. They just seemed like they turned up at the end of the fight. And I realize now, if they were conjured, then he might have lost concentration when we threw him into the abyss. So they all should have disappeared again. So I assume they just showed up having heard the noise of the fight. So it took some time to kill them, but we kind of went all out to blast them apart as Roughstool charged in and was disappointed to see them being blasted from behind. He did manage to take down one of them, though.
You got a couple of them.
Yeah, I remember saw the one, and then Rothstuhl is like, oh yeah, and then Peter's like, oh, and there's 4 more behind him, and Rothstuhl is like, yes, charging even harder.
Yeah.
In his partially drunken stupor.
Oh yes, forgot about that part.
When you say poster hanger, I
Yeah.
think that's a close relative to the window licker.